Hi, this is Melissa, Implementation Specialist. This is the third and final video of the Encounter Overview. We're going to be looking at the assessment and plan and the coding steps. The assessment screen on the left-hand side, today's diagnosis are populated. This information comes from what you have entered into certain areas of the encounter. The refractive codes will populate with information entered in the final refraction with prism test, and other diagnosis, some of your medical diagnosis will populate if you've entered certain data in some of the health testing areas. On the right-hand side, we have two tabs. We have today's findings and the master diagnosis list. If the codes that have been generated here on the left are not the ones that you want to use, you can delete the code by clicking the delete button. You can add additional codes from the list on the right-hand side by clicking the green add. If what you're looking for is not listed, come up to the upper right and click the add, and then you can search for the diagnosis code to select it. On the plan screen, the diagnoses are listed on the left-hand side. On the right, you'll notice that we have care plan templates and care plan items. For most of the offices, we have preloaded the care plan items for you to choose from, and you have the ability to create care plan templates in administration. We're going to use the care plan items. If you're going to give the patient a new eyeglass prescription, you can indicate that by clicking on the green add. You have the ability to add that particular care plan item to all diagnoses or to one specifically. If you've added a care plan item and you want to delete it, you can click on the delete button. You also have the ability to view the CPI history for the patient if they are established, and you can add a care plan item that may not be listed. Enter a description. You can add this to the library, and you can create a checkout task. A lot of offices may not have the screen for the checkout tasks. If this is something that you use, you can certainly add it, and we will take a quick look at that screen in just a moment. The medical decision-making screen, if in the beginning on the reason for visit you had indicated that this exam was a medical visit, the application can suggest procedure codes for you to use. Just simply use the drop-down menu, and for additional assistance, you can also click on the help. On the coding screen, on the left-hand side, the first thing you may notice is we have the refraction already selected to be billed. This is actually a service that I have set up with a service trigger for it to automatically populate here. If you need to remove it, you can click your remove button. You have your common services, today's diagnosis, and the master diagnosis list. You're going to select what you're billing the patient for today's visit by either clicking the green add, or you can select more than one at a time. If you make a selection here, you have the ability to click bulk add, and it'll add both of those services. The next thing you want to do is make sure and associate a diagnosis. You can add the diagnosis individually, or you can do, again, the bulk add. When you click bulk add, you can select all services or one specific service. On the left-hand side, you'll notice the Sign Encounter button. This is where you want to sign the encounter, and this is for the provider to sign. When you click this, you'll be prompted to enter your password for Revolution. Once the encounter is signed, basically the information is locked. If you need to go back and make any changes or edits, you will need to unsign the encounter. Enter a reason and then save. You'll also notice that we have a code exam and an Autocode Preview that you can use. For many offices, this may be the last area that the provider is going to be working in, or even the staff, but I'm going to go ahead to the checkout and show you the checkout tasks. So if your office uses those, you can take a quick look at that here. And we're on the checkout tasks screen. And again, this is just something that we set up a few screens ago. This has been indicated, maybe I'd like for my patient to get a supplement as they're checking out. So this just basically alerts your staff of something as the patient is checking out. You can always check the box here that it has been completed. You'll see the status is now complete and the patient is good to go. This concludes the quick overview of the assessment and plan and coding steps. Thank you for joining me.